All right, welcome everybody. I'm so excited you're here. And we were talking about some of the turquoise and the art and stuff like that. So I'm excited because I'm using AI now. I feel so with it. And
Sophisticated.
I know, and it's really brilliant, I have to say. So I'm going to add the AI right now. But just let me take a minute and say hi and welcome you. So some people were wondering if this is part of the class that I've been teaching, the Divine Blueprint class, but this is not. This is the Sacred Synchronicity Circle that meets once a month. And so here's our AI showing up in the chat. If you see a weird name there, that's who it is. And anyway, the Divine Blueprint class, Megan, maybe you'll share a word or two about that, is going really well. It's the first one that I've taught of that kind. And I'm getting a lot out of it and learning a lot. So we're working through, not working, but we're opening doorways. So that's the nature of the Divine Blueprint class. And the first doorway that we worked with is love, which / self-love. And this last time was on power / empowering myself. And next time will be on intuition and then purpose. So it's pretty juicy. So today's focus for our call is on the magic of sacred synchronicity is love. And so if you could use a little more love in your life, you're in the right place. Because I think we all do. I was interviewed with someone, Valerie Green, who is a well-known relationship coach. And when she asked me to do the interview, I'm like, oh no, I'm not good with that topic. But she talked me into it, I guess. And anyway, she and I had a fun interview, and I'm just gonna, if you hadn't had a chance to look at it, I will say it turned out really good. So I'm just put that in the chat. It's a YouTube in about 50 minutes. So let's take a few minutes to close our eyes and center our energies and let the world turn all on its own for a few minutes. And I'm just going to take a nice, deep, relaxing breath. I've got both of my feet are on the ground. I'm just feeling myself kind of rooted and supported by the chair that I'm sitting in. If you're standing, however, feel the ground underneath you. And for just a few minutes, tune into yourself, your higher self, your physical self, your emotional, spiritual self. Just tune in and see how you're doing. Because sometimes we get busy in the day and we forget to tune into the most important part of the day. And that's how we are being inside of all of that we're involved in. So just take a deep breath on that. And while our topic is around the podcast title, the key word that I was given for today is to restart. Like you restart your computer. You start again. You restart something that you had set down and hadn't picked up, or you restart in a new direction. And just think about all the places where you could restart today and be in the present moment, put the past in the past, and just feel yourself in today's present moment and know that all is well. You're loved, you're supported, and you're here for a reason. Take a deep breath. Let that go. And when you're ready, just open your eyes and hop back in. Oh, we got some more people joining. I'm so excited. We've got some people that might be here for the first time. So feel free to turn your video on so we can see you.
Can I just say, boy, Heidi, that hug really worked.
You can say, what? Who was that? I don't know what that was.
Mic drop.
Okay, I think that's Mark. Your background is coming through. We're hearing your other program, Mark.
I'm on mute. It wasn't me. I was on mute.
Oh, okay. Somebody's got some other program running, and so put that one on mute. So anyway, so welcome, Dalzinia. You're here. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful to see you. Dalzinia and I go way back to Houston days, and we knew each other from Landmark Education and got to be friends back in the day when we were all involved in that. And so I would love for you to share with me what brought you here today. Like it just, just to get the energy flowing, the start, we do this call. I think each person here may have been here before, or you heard about it, or maybe this is your first time. I'd love to hear what brought you here today. Anybody? Jan, thank you. Jan Jones.
The main thing is just being with everybody and just being in this energy. That I know that it's so important with keeping, at least it is for me, with having a group and also communion together with community and just listening to everybody and just being in the energy. That's the thing. Yep.
That's it. That's the energy. I was thinking about that on my walk this morning, where energy goes, where attention goes, energy flows. We've heard that. And so so this is a good thing to put your attention on. Mark, your hand is raised.
I'll second that. It's about the energy. Just to share, I'm actually in the middle of a 5-day virtual event. We have 200 people online for the next from 9 hours a day. I've been doing it. Saturday we had a 4-hour warm-up, 2-day VIP, 9 hours for the last 2 days, and then for the next 3 days is the general session, and we have over 200 people on this event. But I had to leave for an hour because I needed to be in the energy. I told my partners ahead of time that I had 4 calls this entire week, and that this was one of them. So happy to be here.
Awesome.
What is the group? What is it that the
It's called the Strategic Alliance Summit. It's
Okay.
hosted by Tom Matson and Danella Burnett with the Icon Makers, and David Ricklin and I are sponsoring and co-hosting the event with them.
Okay.
Awesome. And Mark, when you get a second, put your link to your event that's in February. So Spirit loves the energy too. My kitty cat always is not gonna go away. So Megan and then Kim, what brought you here? Megan, you're on mute.
So yes, hello everyone. I think first of all, it's the invitation. I was invited to come. So I will always respond to an invitation unless I can't. And then it is the community and knowing that this is a safe place and knowing that we all can give voice and be heard and listened to in a very often a very deep and penetrating way. So I appreciate that.
Nice. Thank you. Kim, how about you? I'm glad you're here. You're on mute also, Kim.
Whoops. Good to be here. I was saying that I'm surprised to be here because I have a very full day, but I kept getting, and I love the community. And I was like, oh, I love that, but I have a full day. And so my mental mind was like, just nope. And I kept getting nudged by spirit. So I'm here because I'm nudged by spirit. And then you said the word restart, and literally I'm in a big, big moment of restart. Like, I can talk about it more, but I'm starting to cleanse on Thursday. I'm going into a silent retreat Thursday night. I am like, there's so much energetic restarting happening for me personally, in my family, in my home, and feeling like it's such an important time with all the impact that's happening in the world with the energies. I know I'm being called any way I can to get very centered internally, cleaning out, clearing, being clear and clean as much as possible. And of course, gathering in a group like this only assists in that mission, individually and collectively, I believe. So I couldn't believe you said restart. I was like, oh my gosh, Jan, okay, sacred synchronicity, bam.
There it is, right there. I never know what we're going to talk about. I think I know, but I never do. Because even when I teach a class, I never know what I'm really going to talk about, because it's the energy of the group. It brings, when people come together, it gets created in the middle of us, not by an individual. That's the difference, I would guess, from, say, someone that's teaching a knowledge-based course or something. This is all about energy and experience. And so I love hearing everybody's experience. And let's see, Dalzinia, I think she might have had to pop off, but she had a sacred synchronicity. She was just going through her computer and emails and run across the email and jumped on. Can't stay, but great to see you and your cat. All right, I'll have to reach out to her later. But Anne, were you gonna share something?
I'm just happy to be here. I love this group.
So we had a big cosmic restart in October, was with the double eclipses. The first one came right around the middle, and then the second one comes 2 weeks later, right around the end. And so if you felt yourself really ending something and then beginning something, or restarting, however you want to look at it, in the tarot cards, it's called the Tower, which represents death. But in the Mayan calendar, I love the way they approach death, is that death is one of the most powerful places to be. And when something dies, something is reborn. And so in order for anything nature related or human related, we have to be on the lookout that in today's day and time, maybe in our parents' time, the goal was to longevity, just keep the same job, keep the same relationships, don't change, live in the same house, keep everything like flatlined, and don't do the up and the down. But in today's world, it's not like that. And so I think coming together in this energy allows us to accept more of how we are supposed to be restarting and starting and stopping, and what we're letting go of. So I'd love to hear from anybody who is going through a restart. Kim, you were a great share about that. And anybody else, what are you noticing, in this time of, like we're coming to the end of a year, which is always kind of a nice ending and new beginnings. What are you noticing for you, and where could you use a restart? Anybody?
Well, I'll go. So today is Wednesday, yesterday was Tuesday, and I had an absolutely wonderful day on Tuesday. And I guess I was expecting to have a wonderful day today, just because of that. And that did not happen. And I was feeling confused and a whole bunch of emotions that I wasn't expecting to feel. And finally, I literally sat down, and it was almost like a kerplunk. And it was like when I when I felt myself, when I had that contact, it was like the realization came to me was the more I understand and the more I do, the less I understand and the less I do, because I don't understand anything. It was like I came to one of those spots where of total abandonment to the moment of, okay, I give up. I don't know who I am, where I'm going, and it's okay. I'll just be in that space. So it was kind of interesting the way it happened. And the way I literally kind of plunked myself down into it.
Yes. And you got there on your own or with the help of your guides or spirit. And I think that's probably one of the most powerful places that we can be, because, think about any person. We all know somebody that's a know-it-all. They know everything, right? So there's really no room for conversation because they already know everything. But when we want to know something, and like when I want to know something, I'm like killing myself like over and over. I want to know this. I want to know. I don't understand. And then the power place is from where you were talking about, Megan, is where you got to that place and you just went, let it happen. That's sacred synchronicity, by the way. And that's actually one of the things I talked about in the podcast, that, how I lived through tragedy and loss and change was just what you just described, that let go. So how do you feel after that?
Oh, much different. And I actually felt my my mentor, for the first time, it was he had disappeared, and he was there again. And I felt her in my heart. And so yes, it was good.
Yeah. Is that your divine blueprint mentor?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. In the divine blueprint class, we discovered that the divine blueprint actually has a voice, and we have been tapping into each of us have guides or mentors that are our unique guide for our journey, our blueprint. So cool. Who else?
I'd like to add in on to what Megan said, because in that space of not knowing or something like that has what that I've been going through big time this week, that feeling like I don't know who I am. I feel like I'm not that person that was over there. I'm not the person that is here, and I don't know who that person is that's going to be over here. And it's just it's a very odd place for me to be. It's not scary. It's just, it's different. It's very different. And I don't know who I am anymore. Don't know.
Hey, let's give Jan a little clap, because it's a great place to be. Not comfortable at all, but definitely it's a place of creation. And so from there, you can create anything.
It reminds
Know
me,
who you are, you're like, oh no, I can't do that. I already, this is
yeah,
how
I have no idea. But it reminds me of a card I got, gosh, years and years and years ago. And on the front of the card, it was a trapeze, and there was a person that was holding on to like one end of the trapeze over here, and then you had the space here. She swung out and she let go, and there was that space waiting to catch on to the other end of the trapeze. That's where I feel like I am. I feel like I've let go of the trapeze over here, and I'm just like in midair waiting to cling on to the next side of that trapeze.
That's a great visual.
Isn't it? I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It stayed with me for years.
Wow. Right.
Pretty scary if you ask me.
It's just, I don't know. It's very odd. It's just very, very, very odd.
A friend of mine gave me this, Christina, who some of you know. Instead of saying I'm scared, say scare-sighted. Like I'm scared, but I'm excited, So scare-sighted. Cool. Well, I'll be interested to hear where your trapeze is going to take you next.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Guy.
So, well, I was drawn here by the love, Jan, you radiate the love and create the space here and attract everybody else here with the love. And I kind of had quite a busy day too, like Kim said, and I got a bit off track this morning. So I got to make it. So I was sort of running out of time, but I legged it down to the bank, which I had to do, and grabbed an acai bowl, and which I ate in the first 10 minutes of the call. That's when my video was off. But I'm really happy to be here because I just felt like this will get me back on track. But so wow, incredible recent times. I did a 30-day silent immersion retreat with Jacqueline Hobbs, Oracle Girl. I wasn't actually in silence myself, but it's kind of energetic silence for 30 days. And like pretty much dismantled everything. And so I'm just
30 whole days?
Pardon? Yeah.
Silent for 30 days?
Oh no, I wasn't actually silent myself. It's like
Oh.
she's silence, and then she connects us with that frequency for 30 days. Like with her program, normally we do like 2 purifications a week, but during the silent immersion retreat, it's every day for 30 days, which is like twice a year. And that was my seventh in 3.5 years. So it was really great. And so during that time, I did a marketing launch for a client that kind of failed abysmally. And so a lot of the commission I was counting on didn't come. So I had to kind of restructure after that. And I remembered one of my old affirmations. I have trust and faith in that everything always works out for the good for me, and kind of kept in that space. And I kind of went through it a little bit, but I did kind of hold some space for myself, and some nice synchronicities did show up. A client called and asked if any of the books I've read recently, I could write a review for him for his newsletter. And I'm really excited about it. It's the second time I'm going to write a book review for him for his newsletter. And it's kind of really exciting because I only started reading again, like fiction again, about this last year. I hadn't read much at all in the last 10 years. The internet had kind of done something to my attention span. But I did finally broke through, and I've read 10 or so books since the spring. And so it's really fun to write a review about a book I love, and it feels really, aligned, to use my creativity. And so that was kind of exciting. And then I was at the art walk on Friday in a gallery and talking to some friends there, and I picked up a client. So and that was really perfect too. So those 2 things just kind of showed up just in the nick of time, which is great.
Nice.
And so I've been just sort of rethinking what I want to do with my business and so forth. So, and actually a lot of clarity is coming forth. I'm kind of clear now. I have a plan, and I'm going to move forward on that. And then different things have been showing up that I've just been doing, sort of like healing work. probably late to this game, but I came across the whole kind of attachment theory recently, which I guess everybody else knows about it, but anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and all of that. And watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and maybe I'll get one of the books on that. But I put some things into practice, and that's been really great. I actually went through all my relationships, whether they're just friends, platonic, people from Twitter that live on the other side of the globe that I flirt with and back and forth and things like that. I went through all of them, and so I said, well, what's really going on here, and where am I not reciprocated, and what am I doing wrong? And I kind of detached from all of it, and it was really great because actually pretty much all of it kind of cleaned up just by just completely detaching. And I kind of went into the void. It was like for a few weeks, it's like I don't have any friends, or there's nobody on the internet to talk to, but I just let it all go, just detached. And then a couple of people kind of came back, but when they came back, I was more grounded, like, I'm not like, oh, I'm so glad you're back, like I really needed you. It's just they're back, but I'm not attached, like I think I got into that more statement of kind of secure attachment. They're back and it's fine, but it's not, I'm not chasing anymore. I'm not pursuing anything that's not reciprocated. And I was also able to see those relationships more clearly when I detached. Like, oh, was that really that great? No, it wasn't really. I mean, it wasn't really getting my needs met, in this one and that one. So that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm finding things like that are showing up. They're showing up really fast, and I'm processing them really fast. It's like things that would have taken me years before to kind of move through. It just happens very, very quickly. And that's it. I got clear on a photography project, kind of my next kind of long-term project I'm working on, and so that was really, so all of that came up, and like everybody, it's I just holding a space for peace in the world that's really needed right now.
Yes. Well, you're bringing up attachment and detachment. A very good friend of mine, Mark's as well, Lars, did a fabulous video. It's not really a video, but it's an audio video. And it's all about detachment. It was totally channeled to him, I think. And super, super powerful. I'll be happy to share it with you. And I use that because he brings up, things that I hadn't thought about. I think about detaching maybe from a person, but he brings into it the thought of detaching from places, events, emotions, thoughts, and beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd also been thinking about, he brings in the multiverse, like how, you can look at, here we are in this version of our universe and where we're living, but there could also be a multiverse, like we could be living simultaneously in another dimension. And so what he brings into his process that he shares in this video is letting go all the way back, like all the legacy, all of the beliefs that we brought in as children, our parents passed them down and their parents, so on. Anyway, brings it all in. It's just like, talk about restart. It's like totally like pushing that restart button. And like you said, it takes away, it's not quite so electrified around a certain person or an event or something that's going on.
Yeah, and I mean, one experience was I was reminding myself to go where the love is, also with relationships. One gallery that I kind of submitted to was not very, I don't know, I mean, considering it's like a small town and everybody knows each other, we're friends, I don't think they were very kind of receptive to me, but it's just like, wow, there's other galleries, there's other people love me, love my work. It's like, why lose a second, lose a second on it. And I mean, when I said before, when I detach and like going into the void, and I think sometimes we have to go into the void so that the new things come in. And sometimes what comes in is kind of surprising, unexpected in a good way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, Jan. Mark, you look like you're looking for that video. Are you?
I was.
I don't
I wasn't
know.
angry. I was just looking for the video.
Yeah, I figured you were.
Do you have it accessible? I'll find it.
Okay, I'm gonna find it too, but it'd be better if you find it because
I will look for it right now.
okay. But yeah, it's a great little exercise. I've shared it with a lot of people. So restarts, detachment, going where the love is. What else, Kim?
Yeah, one of the things you talked about.
Can you
death.
pause just 1 second?
Sure.
I wanted to welcome Liz. She's new to our call and I saw that she joined and I just want to say hi and welcome. So now go ahead.
Hi, Liz. Yeah, I think there's so many different things that are coming up for me when people are speaking. To me, taking time for daily silence has been a critical component of my ability to hold peace and love more deeply. So that I've realized is just a non-negotiable piece that I need to get quiet and I need to sit in silence to allow some clearing to happen and me to feel less pushed, like swirled around by the events of the world. And it's allowed more of a space in between everything. That makes sense. The other thing that's happened for me in my life is I've had a lot of very people that I know either pass in the last few months or be very sick and be on the verge of passing. So that has highlighted the preciousness of life for me, as for my husband also. And we're in a transition of him about to sell his financial practice of 33 years and really restarting on a new journey in our lives. And the void, I guess, part of, as I've done silence and I'm about to do a 4-day silent retreat, is it has allowed me to be very comfortable with void space. And I'm finding that unbelievable sacred synchronicities are just, they occur like boom, 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 boom. It's not only for me, but something that I say that I get prompt to say that turns out to bring a synchronicity together for someone that I care about. Yeah. Like my son was looking for work, and then I thought about this person on an unrelated thing, and I went, oh my gosh, he's in the work that you want to do. And now my son's working with him. He contacted him, he needed somebody. So it's those kind of things. So, you know, in the midst of a very tense, chaotic world with so much swirling, I'm finding that I'm just finding that sacred synchronicity and wonderment and awe and the ability to ground peace very deeply within myself with known and unknown, like really ground, like, okay, how do I ground safety in the unknown, ground safety? You know, some things I know where I live, but there's a lot that I don't. But what I'm finding as I ground that just other things are opening up in just pretty profound ways. And so, yeah. And it feels good to be noticing. I think maybe Guy said this. It's like, to hold peace for me, I understand the commitments I personally need to make to be able to hold that. And that is a lot of inner work and a lot of just that quiet, sacred time so that I can show up very present for whatever is coming in my moment to moment. So I just, when people are saying a lot was happening, and particularly like, why is all this death coming? And I've been kind of a first responder for some of those friends, or throwing the memorials. And so holding that space, like, wow, I'm not that old. I mean, these are friends of mine that are, in their late 50s, early 60s, already exiting the planet. That's been, yeah, it's been an interesting journey. So that's what I felt to share right now.
I love it. And then there's those of us who have not exited the planet. I mean, it's almost like, gosh, they're lucky. They can put all this behind and go on and be in a better place. But I think the courage is in staying. And it takes a lot of courage to be here right now. And so I've ups and downs. Like in the podcast, I shared about, the love, the loss, the starts, the stop, and some of that. And that inside of all of that, I kept looking outside of myself to feel better, like in some different ways. And it's just like, it's just not going to happen. Just not going to happen. The feel better isn't out there, it's in here. And so then it was like, okay, be still. I want that voice, that to be still. And so one of the things this group for me is I can't just go into my hidey hole. I am, this group brought me out. So thank you. We started it in June. So we've been, rolling now for several months, and we'll continue. Thank you. This is a good space for Jan to show up and not hide out. And then the Divine Blueprint class was my other, get out there, Jan, just stop just, you're not retired, okay, I turned 70. That's not an excuse. Just get going. And so the Divine Blueprint is doing that. And then that podcast, comes around, and I'm like, oh, I should cancel that. I've had it on the books, but, I don't have anything to say, and then it's just like, just show up. Just show up, open your mouth. And then new people started to come, like Liz in Dalzenia, Peter's here. These are some people that, might have come as a result of some of the podcasts. And I'm like, okay, there's still people I'm supposed to make a difference with. And it all started with everything that's already been said today, not knowing and detachment and courage. And so, Jan, you said it's completely, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am on a daily basis, but I will say when other people start to call me out, I just say, okay, we'll show up. I'm like Shonda Rhimes, if you read her book, something called Just Say Yes or something like that. Shonda Rhimes, she's the creator of Murder, She Wrote, and Grey's Anatomy, and a lot of those TV shows. And she's like really an introvert, super introvert, but she was a good writer and all of this. Once she started getting popular, people, wanted to interview her and get on TV and stuff like that. But she she just like, oh, tell her no, tell him no, tell him no. You know, she likes to be in her sweats and not do her hair. She doesn't want to show up, but she decided to have a year of yes, where anything that came her way, she just said, yes, I'll do it. I'll show up. So I'm taking a page out of her book. So where else are you restarting? Is there an opportunity here for you to look and see, yeah, you know, I want to restart such and such. Maybe I need that reboot, you know, like the computer. I restart it before every Zoom call. And it kind of like clears the cobwebs out. Is there any place that you're now seeing or noticing an opportunity to say something? Maybe let the universe know by sharing it. So,
I'm considering restarting my podcast. It's been on a bit of a hiatus, and it's one of the things I've been sort of thinking more deeply about the why of it. And I really like the connections that I create with people when I do it. And those connections, it's not necessary that it leads to other things, but it does sometimes. So it's not really about the number of views and all of that, because that's quite a game to play in, and whether it's YouTube or Rumble or wherever. But you know, I was thinking back that I really enjoyed the connections that I made with people with the interviews I did. Like there was kind of like a bond between me and the person. In most cases, that kind of developed that was stronger than before, and also some of the things that we talked about were things that were worth talking about, you know, that were worth putting out into the world. And so, yeah, I just have to kind of see how to fit that in a practical perspective, because it can take a few hours. Every podcast can be a few hours, and it isn't something. It doesn't really generate any income. So I have to, you know, decide. It has to be efficient and practical, that it doesn't take over in the other parts of my life that I need to work on my business. So yeah, so I'm actually going to be thinking through kind of which guests I'd like to have and where, kind of tighten up what the theme is of the podcast.
Well, I would vote for that. Because I just have that experience of you when you speak in our circle of, you know, it's just like profound. It's almost like, you know, it is like a divine message coming through you.
Oh, thanks, Jen. Yeah, and I think that's an aspect of it that I also, yeah, so it's also for me expressing, using my voice, that yeah, it feels good. Thank you.
Jan, were you getting ready to share something? It was no.
Are you asking me?
Oh, Anne. Okay, Anne. There you go.
Well, let's see. Restarting. I would like to restart on the feeling of abundance instead of lack. I'm weepy a lot lately, so I'm teary right now. So I have 2 people in my family who are chronically ill right now, and it's very challenging. And I am proud to say that I have launched my Etsy store, and I have about 35 products in it, and needing to get the word out more. Thank you for that celebration with me. I haven't had any customers, or I got scammed by somebody. It was pretty much not good. I gave a credit card to somebody who just shouldn't have gotten it, and Thankfully, the bank caught it. So I'm thinking, I'm hearing a lot of things here today about, restarting and detachment. There's so much that's out of control, and it is definitely trying to let go and let God is a challenge. I don't know what else to say. That's why it's important to be with people like you folks. I don't have that very much at home.
That's what we're here for, Anne. We're all just on that journey, and love
Yes.
that is present here in our circle is
You bet.
beautiful. Yeah. So just let's just center on Anne for a second and see if we can just give her and her family members a little bit of extra energy. And we'll just take a few minutes and just shine that light over on Anne and her family. And know that everything happens for a reason. We can't always see why that reason is. Even when it's an illness, there's a higher purpose, a higher reason. And let's just give Anne some extra love and courage and all things that will help her deal with that situation at home. And I hope you'll just take that in and receive it and use it to add to your heart, your burden of your heart, that the heaviness, and lighten it just a little bit. And just take a breath in. And I see Mark has put the detachment exercise from our friend Lars up here. And just Lars Gustafsson. He's Swedish, I think. And invite every one of you to practice with that. When I'm going through difficult challenges, it helps me to let go, let go, let go, let go. Let go and let God take the wheel, because right now I'm just not doing a good job at steering. So, and it does help find some relief. Did that feel good, Anne? Okay.
Yes, I felt a lightening in my body. I kind of felt like I went like this a little bit, like shoulders, Thank you very much.
You're loved. You're very loved. Mark, you say something brilliant. You've been working over there. What are you noticing out of our thread of conversation today for yourself?
Actually, what was coming up was something that Kim and I have done together called the Revolutionary Agreements. It just came up again yesterday around one of the agreements. I agreed to look for blessings in disguise. And the exercise is much more challenging when you're in the disguise, when you're in the middle of the thing that is a hidden blessing. So it helps when you look back at other challenges that you've had and seeing how they come out and on the other side of them, and be able to have that as a go-to when you are going through this. But just understanding that what we're in and being able to be present to the muck and to the other stuff of it, not to ignore it or bypass it, but realize that all of it is serving us in some way.
Yeah. Blessing in disguise. Yes. It's hard to remember, like you said, when you're right in the middle, the throes of it. it's kind of like, why is this happening to me? But I love remembering the way you said that it's a blessing in disguise.
Mhm. And community helps, so it is nice. Thank you so much for creating this sacred space to come into, this container where we can all be open and vulnerable and transparent, and
Yeah. Well, there's not a real big agenda here. Kimmy, you want to say something?
Yeah, thanks, Mark, for I guess reminding me of that agreement. Time, I think personally and collectively, looking for blessings in disguise is a balm for our souls to bring fortitude and greater strength to see. When you were talking, I was just reminded to never underestimate the power of a kind act. That's what came up for me. And I've had this conversation of mine of that part that says, oh, you're never doing enough. You have this, you have that. And I've moved into this place of really looking to be more present and observant of where love is needed. And it's been a profound journey to just notice. Even our time that we just spent with Anne, I literally saw, Anne, your energetic light body open. And how much time does that take, right? But there's so many people are burdened. And I'm finding as I'm doing it, the gratitude that is blossoming in me is just happening at it like it's impenetrable, the gratitude, no matter what's going on. And I'm just like, well, because I've thought about service and save, and we hear that, and because I'm a visionary, I get these big ideas, and I thought, let me play with these small kind acts that and notice. So in the middle of the night, simple thing, when I get up, I always have to pee in the middle of the night. I move into prayer for all. I have a lot of people with a lot of burden on their heart. And so that's what came up, Mark, when you were speaking, is just, wow, there's so many blessings. And as we're blessed, we can bless. As we remember to look for blessings in disguise, it naturally pours. So where I don't stop myself anymore is I take time to write that note. Last night, I had 4 birthday friends, and I just took time and said a happy birthday to really write something that they make a difference in my life, how they bless me. And, it was just, it's amazing to see the reciprocal response of, wow, because I think one of our biggest wounds in this world is people not feeling seen. We're all so busy and non-present and getting our goals done that, wow, what a gift to notice, wow, Anne is sad right now. She's holding a lot. Thank you, Jan, for initiating a blessing for Anne. And, it was wonderful to be part of that. So, yes, blessings. They're so beautiful to reflect on and give and receive.
Thank you, Kim. And I'm going to just summarize real quickly on top of what you just said around blessings in disguise. And I was talking about each of us individually in our hardships, but we were also talking about in the world right now and in the Middle East. And whether you're talking about the Middle East or if you're talking about the Holocaust, understanding that these horrible things that happen in the world, or Ukraine, or all over the world, all of them are happening for the better good. And that sometimes is hard to see. But the idea of the small acts of kindness, I think, is the way. And the small acts of kindness start with ourselves before anyone else, of really, because we all talk about self-care and self-love, and we still always put everybody else first, even though we keep talking about it and saying it. If we can really practice it, not only do we have more light to shine, but we give everyone else permission to shine their light first too. So if we can continue to improve on how we can give ourselves even more love and even more self-care, we can stay in the vortex rather than trying to step out of the vortex to bring people in it. And it's that whole lighthouse thing that Jan talks about. Be the lighthouse, not the spotlight.
Mm. Woo,
Searchlight. Mm.
that's beautiful. So
Thank
my
you.
add on to everything that's been shared I wanted to remind each of us of is that each one of us matters. And your voice matters, your presence matters, your energy matters. And so self-love is a place to begin. Loving myself matters because I matter to the world. And so giving our gifts to the world is important because we matter. And so we got to do the housekeeping, the behind the scenes work so that we can show up and be that light at the lighthouse. You matter. You matter. I matter. Ooh, I love that. I love this call. Like just the energy just kept spiraling up and up. So, wow, I guess we're at the top of the hour, so we're going to complete for today. But 1 or 2 words, if you have time to stay, just pop it out there. What was most valuable for you?
Light and love.
Love and giving.
Love and gratitude.
Love and connection.
Love and connection.
Mhm.
Mm.
I matter.
Mhm.
Love within
You
and
matter.
without.
Say that one more time, Kim.
Love within and without.
Mm.
All right. Well, thank you so much for bringing that to my experience today. I feel like I just went through a silent retreat of magnitude in 60 minutes. So
Love that.
all right, love you all. And I did have a quick announcement that I'm going to be doing some Divine Blueprint introduction calls, and I'll be starting another class. So I'll be sending some emails out about that, and you're invited. So watch your inbox for those invitations.
Mm.
Thank you.
New class starting
Bye-bye.
in the beginning of the year.
Thanks,
So,
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye all.
Love you
Thank
all.
you for
Love.
your beautiful
Love you.
contributions today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.